Pastor Bob. I have a friend who is not a believer, and it's made it very clear that she doesn't need or want Jesus in her life. She found her kids taken away, her house repossessed, and her boyfriend cheating on her within a few months. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and now she's in a very dark place, completely unrecognizable. What should I do? You know, we always look for those times when we could jump in and save the day. Lead her to Christ, which is a great thing. We look for those times when we can make a significant difference and say, okay, now that everything is so bad for you, now you understand that you need Jesus. Do you also understand, though, that these kinds of things happen to Christians too? Every day. The whole idea that Christianity gives you, a perfect life and nothing goes wrong, and if you're not a Christian, everything falls apart. It's just not true. But there are those times in our lives that we would call a wake-up call. This is one of them. A time where it's defining, where it gets your attention, where you realize that you have some decisions to make, and maybe you just can't do this by yourself. Why does this friend need Jesus? Well, because everybody does. Is she in more need of Jesus than the average person? No. Because you see, it doesn't really have to do with our surroundings or even what's going on in our lives. It has a whole lot more to do with where we're going when we're done with all of this. There's a great book called Fox's Book of Martyrs that talks about a lot of Christians that have been killed for their faith. People that have suffered greatly because they're Christians. The whole idea that Christianity takes you away from it, well, just isn't true. But we have somewhere to run to. I did a podcast the other day about peace in the middle of a storm, and that really is what this is all about. There are so many examples of those martyrs in Fox's Book of Martyrs and others outside of the book that experience this peace even in the middle of such huge turmoil, because they know they're in God's hands and they know where they're going. Now that's a huge thing. And in that respect, that's what honestly separates, Christians from non-Christians. It's what you and I have to give us hope, to give us security in our eternity, and to ultimately get us through these difficult times. Irresponsibility isn't necessarily to give her all of the facts about Christianity and persuade her to get saved real quick. Your responsibility is more about listening, about being a friend, about being there for her. And honestly, the greatest gift you can give someone during this kind of time when they're angry and frustrated and, they don't know what to do, they're confused. The best thing you can do is simply listen, be there, love them, and, basically be God with skin on. Represent God to them and represent the fact that, He loves them, He cares for them. And when she's ready, she'll come around, she'll ask some questions. But it may not be for a while. She has to get through this first. And your greatest gift to her is not to tell her what she's got to do. It's to listen, to hug her, to be there, to love her, and then wait for God's timing in beginning to talk about her heart. She's got to uncover her heart first. Well, there you go. God bless you. Have a great day.